remember, what were you? Bill McDonald's the baddest that I would turn to. CEO with the shit that's a dope motherfucker. He'll always win, there's no going under. The top of the crown resting on his head. The beast is alive, he'll never be dead. If he drank before, bring it back to life. Push harder for it, let us survive. Show courage and strength, it's okay to be scared, but don't let it stop you, always stay prepared. Bill Showman School, they're just not beginning. Winners fucking win, losers talk about winning.
Welcome to the Bearded Beast Show. My name is Bill. I am the Bearded Beast. Boy, here's a podcast I've been waiting for a while. Special guest today, my friend Ricky, the Karate Kid Steele. How you doing, Ricky?
I'm doing very well, brother. Thank you for having me.
Man, thanks for coming on. I'm so honored to be able to talk to you. I know I've been trying to put it together for a little while. I've had to make some different arrangements, and it's my fault, so I apologize. But I'm honored to have you on here. I'm a huge MMA fan, so I can't wait to ask you some questions.
Right on, man. Yeah, I know. Thanks for having me. It's been a long time coming, so it's
all right.
Good to be here.
Can you give my listeners a brief background about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Ricky Steele. I've been cage fighting here, MMA, for about 11 years. 8-2 as a professional, with the win on The Ultimate Fighter. Been doing martial arts since I was about 5 years old. I'm 34 now, so just a little bit of time. I don't know much, but I know a little bit about karate and martial arts, so maybe a little bit about asphalt paving, but that's about it.
What do you think you know more about, martial arts or asphalt paving?
Probably martial arts, honestly, because I love it a little bit more. I do really, really love my job. I've been doing it my whole life. It's the only job I've ever had, but man, all day, every day, my mind is just going, thinking about karate and the martial arts.
All right, which one's harder, cage fighting or paving?
I'm going to say cage fighting, and I'll tell you why, because the paychecks. I love to do it, and but even when you win, you get hurt, and I actually lose money every time I try to fight, just because it takes time away from work. So I'm going to say without a doubt the cage fight.
All right, so can you take me back to your younger days, your youth? What got you into martial arts?
So honestly, my grandfather, he's a practitioner under Ed Parker, Kempo Karate. And I saw him about 5 years old and just copycatting Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, like, most other kids do. And my grandfather, just him being a teacher and the love for the arts that he had, we started training, honestly, probably 6, 7, 8 hours a day, every single day. From a little kid, it's the only sport I ever did. We play Nintendo, do karate, and do it some more. And honestly, I'm just super blessed that he handed it to me on a silver platter at such a young, early age. It's just, I truly love it. He loves to teach it. So it was a lot of special times that my grandfather had.
Man, that's some good stuff. I got to tell you, you said a few minutes ago, you don't know much, but I'm sure you were kind of joking about that. But man, when I watch you fight, you seem very, very technical. Not a lot of wasted energy. You're very, technical with your striking. Is that, do you train that purposely, or is that just natural thing for you?
No, that's wonderful to hear. It's honestly my favorite compliment. When you watch me fight, you see that there's a little more behind it. There's an art, you know what I mean? I'm not just out there throwing punches and hoping to land. I am just taking what the opponent gives me, and I'm able to use my style and, truly, yeah, just do karate for reals. I absolutely am such a firm believer in making every step count. So when I fight, truly, I try to have no wasted movements and absolutely do not miss your target type thing. You know what I mean? That's what's going through my mind always through training. So, and it carries over.
Right. I watched your last fight, and I mean, to me, I felt like you dominated the fight. It definitely didn't lose a round as far as I was concerned. But what do those leg kicks feel like? You got to tell me.
I would like to think they hurt them very much, because I ain't bullshitting. They definitely take its toll on me. I mean, it's pretty common that I'm not able to walk after a fight, which, I mean, it just is what it is. I have broken my foot before. It was one bad kick. I kicked a knee. My first professional fight, first kick of the whole damn fight. And, it's definitely one I'd love to have back. I had complication after complication with the foot and surgeries, and I broke it for the fourth time in the fight on The Ultimate Fighter. But, it just is what it is. Honestly, I learned a lot from it. It didn't really change my style. I know, I'm supposed to kick knees and elbows. People will say, oh, you got to kick with the shin in the Muay Thai. I mean, yes and no. You don't always break your feet. You definitely bruise them up. But that being said, I'd rather have bruised feet than concussions and knockouts and being, just rolling the dice on a fist fight and swinging. So that's just not my style.
So, where I learned about you was I always watched The Ultimate Fighter, and you, when I tuned into the season that you were on, you were actually my pick. You were my favorite.
Hell yeah.
So I looked you up on Facebook, sent you a friend request. I was blessed that you responded, friended me back, and here we are today having this conversation. But it was on The Ultimate Fighter that you got injured, right?
I broke my foot for the fourth and final time. Since then, I went home. I had the UFC's insurance. I found the best doctor. I had it completely redone and have not had a single trouble since. So, yeah, it's very sad. To be very honest, all I would have had to do is step foot in the semifinals round. Even if I would have lost, I would have had a 2-fight UFC contract.
Wow.
So it's just kind of, what do you take away from that? It just is what it is. It sucks. But, for me, honestly, it's my chance to really show and prove. And I pray all the time that I'm just so thankful for all this. And I really, truly am, whether it's the UFC and I have all these high dreams and hopes and, that's all great. But I truly just love to do it. I really, truly do. And so, whether it be for my local promotion or the UFC, I'd like to think we have a bunch of big fights ahead of us, but I truly just love to do it, and I'm going to do it for as long as I can.
All right, so you mentioned the paychecks, right? The paychecks compared to your paving company. So do you agree with the pay in the UFC?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, these guys, it's absolutely not worth it. When you think about taxes, when you think about the percentage that most fighters hand over to a manager, when you have what's left and you're only fighting a couple times a year, I really don't. You know what I mean? Especially for how prosperous the UFC is and how profitable all these fighters are. I really feel that it's not enough. I mean, you see boxers get paid so much more, and all these other athletes. I mean, the basketball money, the football money. It's crazy to think about what these guys are getting paid for, and they deserve every bit of it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they should make less. We absolutely need to make more.
And I totally agree with that, because I was blessed for my 50th birthday. Yeah, I'm 50. I don't know if you knew that, but. My son actually,
young man still.
My son took me to Arizona for the Gaethje and Oliveira fight, because I'm a huge Gaethje fan. So, when you talk about the pay and the price of these tickets to go, it's insane just to buy a ticket. So
absolutely, so much money. But when you just say, UFC has $1 billion business. I mean, that's so much money. That's made up type of money. These fighters can make more. They can afford to hand out more.
Right. 100%. I mean, because you run a business, I run a business, and we know we're only as good as the people that are in the business with us, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We can't do everything on our own, and Dana White can't do any of the UFC without the fighters. So I agree with you. I think they need to be making a lot more money, especially for what it cost you to go see an event.
Absolutely.
Now I saw a video, I believe on your Facebook page, of you doing some breathing techniques. Is that something you normally do, or is that something special you were doing for training? I believe I saw you.
I do really. Yeah. With my girls, I get my girls every morning. We try to do a little breathing session. This particular type of session is the Wim Hof method. And if you're not familiar with Wim Hof, man, you have to check him out. Are you familiar with this guy?
I believe I am. Yeah, I've watched a couple of his videos.
Okay, good deal. The Iceman, Wim Hof. Yeah. So I won't go into it. You could talk about this man is just unbelievable. But the breathing techniques are great. It's just a good way to start the day. I get to hang out with my girls first thing, and they really look forward to it as well. And so absolutely.
Yeah,
and everything you can do, all these little things, they add up and they mean the world. They do.
Oh, they do, because at the end, that's all we really got are the memories that we created, right?
Absolutely.
You know, and I saw that and I thought it was so cool. You had your girls with you and you were teaching them how to do that. But do you use any of that for when you're preparing for a fight? What goes through your mind when you're heading down that walkway to that octagon? What's going through Ricky Steele's mind?
I would like to think if anybody tells you they don't get nervous, that they're just full of shit and they're just trying to act tough and all that, because I mean, you just do, of course, right? You're going out there, whether you're scared to actually get hurt. Most aren't. We're not really scared to get hit or anything, but, you know, we're scared to lose. We're scared to all this training to be for nothing. But, you know, so it's nerve wracking. But that being said, I honestly just try to stay as calm as possible. My grandfather, just growing up, he would make me go over and take a nap right before I got out on the mats with these big competitions, and that just kind of stayed with me. I'm not going anywhere near the crowd. I'm just in the back, kind of just relaxing, being as calm as possible. I'll warm up real slowly, and I don't warm up a whole lot. I'll you know, just kind of ease my way into it, blast the pads a couple times, and then we're good to go. As far as the walk goes, the second I can get my eyes on my opponent, I love to do it, man. I love to lock eyes and just know it's just him and I, and everything else doesn't matter at that point. So for me, the sooner I can get in there and just and face off, then, you know, it's go time. It's time to have fun.
Okay, so that leads me into the second part of the question. You know, we watch the weigh-ins, we watch the face-offs. Does your opponent ever get in your head?
Me personally, no. Yeah, I actually, this last time, my opponent was a little on the wild side. Weigh-ins were kind of fun, you know what I mean? Got up in each other's face and a little push and shove. I enjoy it. I really do. I mean, we're here to fight anyways, and essentially put on a show, right? And why not just have a little bit extra behind it? I mean, you're never going to see me instigate that kind of shit, but I fucking love it when it happens, that's for sure.
All right, so you lock your eyes with your opponent. They close that octagon door, right? Is it as soon as the referee says go, or is it after the first punch is connected? When is that trigger moment in Ricky Steele's head where it's go time?
Yep, as soon as I walk in the cage, I'm facing off. You know what I'm saying? And you don't see me really turn my eyes and head. I mean, that's it. You know what I mean? It's just staying calm. Honestly, yeah, when he says go, again, I don't like to get too excited or nothing. It's just, all right, let's just go express ourselves. Let's just go react. I mean, at this point, you don't go in there with a game plan. You don't go in there with certain moves. You just go in there and react. What's your opponent going to do? What's he going to give you? And go from there. You don't have time to react and all that. And that's what your training's for, honestly. So I just really have all the confidence in the world in my training, in my mental preparation. So yeah, as soon as that referee says go, it's go time, man. It's unlike a feeling like anything else. It's hard to explain almost, but nothing else, man. I mean, you talk about truly being in the moment. That is it.
So I imagine. So all right, I'm pretending to be in the octagon. Can you hear the crowd, or is it just? Are you just
absolutely?
So,
I hear the crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, this time I just fought here at home, and it's a freaking party every time. I love it, man. Idaho supports me so much. It's just such a blessing. We have so many people that show up for me, and truly is just something special to have that kind of support and that kind of energy, you know what I mean, when you're getting ready to throw down and everybody's just so hyped up for a fight and knows the guy and all that. It's a little extra, man. It's a good time.
Yeah, I watched it. That place was going nuts for you, and I was super excited. I couldn't wait for your fight. I was so excited. But you know, it's funny because I was nervous for you.
Sure. And I know what I put my family through each and every single time. My grandfather, he's taught me everything, but he still hates it when I fight. He loves it, but he hates it. You know, they do good though, man. They do really well for me.
I can't imagine what it's like to actually be that connected to somebody in there and watching them go through that. So let's go back to the UFC days real quick.
Sure.
What went through your mind how were you notified that you were going to be on The Ultimate Fighter? And that had to be huge, right? It's UFC.
Yeah, kind of funny story, honestly. I never put any thought into it. I just, growing up in my 11 years watching it and this and that, I'm just like, man, if that ever came around, the Ultimate Fighter, and was my weight class, I think I would have that little special niche that, the martial arts, just a different style, undefeated, yada, yada. So when the tryouts are posted online, I was just like, wow, this is it. Like, I just knew from the get-go, I knew this was it. Like, I'm going. There's no doubt about it. And sure as shit, it was just like that. I mean, I'm going down there trying out and just like, where's my ticket? I'm here. Like, let's go. So, and it was just like that. It was so cool. Crazy experience. But, yeah, it was just worth all of it. It was so great.
All right. So if you didn't get injured, how far do you think you would have went?
There's no doubt in my mind I couldn't have beat those guys. No doubt in my mind. The way it played out, I was one of the last ones to fight, so I fought on a Friday. My second match would have been the following Tuesday. It's just hard to say. I was busted up. He got me one time, but one time really good. He concussed me pretty damn good. I would have still fought, but it was my foot that kept me out. I just knew it was not good. And so, fuck it. It's a crazy sport. It's a crazy tournament, man. You probably have to call it the hardest, toughest tournament in the world. Fighting anybody at any time, and then after that, getting ready to fight right again. It's nuts.
So one of my sons is a huge MMA fan, and I've been watching the UFC since UFC 1. Ken Shamrock, Hoist Gracie, all those guys.
Yeah.
So, and I tell him about the days when that was a tournament. You didn't have timed rounds. You had to fight 3 times in one night. So that would be pretty fucking hard, right?
Unreal, man. Yeah, for sure. Especially like me being a kicker. After that adrenaline, the first one, I mean, it would have been impossible for me this last fight even to go back out and do it again. I wasn't walking for about 2 weeks after this last go. And thankfully no broken bones.
So he tries to tell me
is what it is.
He tries to tell me that, those guys were bums back then, but I think they were pretty fucking tough.
Absolutely. So tough. No weight classes, just like you said, the times, everything. Oh, I mean, goddamn, doesn't get no tougher. Like,
I remember watching,
crazy.
I think it was a Shamrock Gracie fight, and it went like 46 minutes. And you still might have to fight again after that. All right.
Crazy, man.
All right. We've had this brief conversation. GOAT of the UFC.
Man, I've had to say John Jones. And really, the argument is just so clear. This man has beaten everybody and never been beat. Like, really, I've only seen him lost a couple rounds. It's just, he is absolutely who I watched. Again, I say growing up, but, watching the sport just grow and evolve, and the way he's able to just technically slow things down. He doesn't rely too much on his athleticism. His leverage does play a huge part and give him huge advantages at times, but he's so damn calm in there every single second, never gets worried. He's always proper posture, always got his guard up. He's always safe, man. Just fighting so smart, I guess, is the best way to explain it. And he's just ran through everybody, man, honestly.
All right, that's who my son says. That's who some of my friends say also when we talk MMA. But, I know you don't know much about me, but I'm a huge proponent of your character, right? And how you operate 100%. Yourself inside the octagon, outside the octagon. The saying with you go to the grocery market, you put the cart away, right? That's integrity. You don't leave it in the parking lot. It's yes, sir. Integrity to me is what are you doing when nobody's paying attention to you, when the spotlight's not on you?
Absolutely.
Are you still the same person, or do you change just because people are watching? And for me, I want everybody to always act the same. And the problem I can't separate the fact of the issues with John Jones and his criminal past, and also
I totally understand, brother.
And failing the drug test with the UFC. I just have an issue with that, and it's hard for me to name somebody as the greatest. And I don't know, maybe I should be able to separate the two, and I should only take into consideration what he does inside the octagon. But man, it's hard when I sit
I
on this,
totally get it, brother.
I sit on the podcast and I preach to people how to live your life and how to be positive and the things that you should be helping others do. And man, I struggle with that so much. And I don't think I want to separate them because I want to believe the best in everyone, and I want to see the best in everyone, and I don't want to see somebody out there getting DW. I mean, drinking and driving, that's one of the most irresponsible things you could do, right?
I absolutely agree. And the hit and run, again, that's inexcusable. The fact that it was a pregnant female, I mean, it's just so bad. And I'm right there with you, brother. And again, that's a total different conversation. Are we talking about fighting alone, or are we talking, you know what I'm saying? Like it'd be crazy having a conversation with him too, because it's just, you don't really know if is he a good guy? I don't know, man. I'd like to think by now he's grown up, but he had a wild side too. And that's for damn sure, man. I mean,
that last fight, did Gon even try? I mean, I don't know, man. I was shocked.
Well, that's just how friggin' good I truly believe it. We'll see. I mean, he's done that time and time again to the who's who. Just again, the way he was able to slow it down, especially once he got the guy down. And now, that being said, it was a beautiful time takedown, but he looked a little rough around the edges in the stand-up department at first. I mean,
yeah, he did, and I thought that Gon was going to be able to hang with him, standing up, hanging there, banging. But man, he looked scared. Gon looked scared to me for some reason. As soon as he got into the ring, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
All right,
it's just hard to say, man.
We got UFC 286 coming up tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
All right, I want to hear.
It's going to be good.
I want to hear your picks.
I'm rooting for Rocky. I'm rooting for Edwards. I think he can he's got to get a whole lot more busier than he did this last time around. Stick the jab. I think he's just got to be sticking on the outside, moving. Kamaru really did dictate and control every aspect of the fight last time. He was the one throwing the jabs. He was dirty boxing and able to just stifle and control and pretty much outmatch Edwards until the end. I mean, that was an absolutely beautiful technique, but he did get lucky with one technique. He was getting his ass kicked the whole fight.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did it seem like it was more luck, or was it actually technique to land that kick?
I'm not going to call it luck because it was beautiful technique, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. He threw the left out just to get that. It wasn't even to hit the man. It was just to get the reaction. He got it. Boom, capitalize it. It's something we train and drill all the time. The technique was flawless. It was beautiful. So I can't say it was lucky. But then again, I guess a little bit of luck never hurt nobody. You know what I mean? It was just good timing. Yeah,
I was shocked. I was shocked, man. I was shocked.
Totally. Me too. Especially it was moments away from being, and still.
I think there was only like 30 seconds left, right?
I think you're right, man. I mean, just crazy. Couldn't be written up any crazier, honestly.
All right. So you heard me say earlier, my favorite fighter in the UFC is Justin Gaethje.
Yes, sir.
Can he win tomorrow?
I think that's every fighter's favorite fighter. You know what I mean? He's something else, dude. When you watch that guy fight, I mean, I can't even imagine being in those types of fights, dude. Like, gosh, that guy is just something else.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think that Justin Gaethje feels like the next day?
Yeah, I mean, like he's been in ran over by a truck. I'd say in a car accident, but he just got ran over.
I mean, talk to me. I mean, you're. I consider you an expert in this. Talk to me about those leg kicks that he throws. They look brutal.
They are brutal. So the thing about Justin Gaethje and I'll be picking you apart from more on the outside. I am less in trouble and harm's way, shall you say. Justin Gaethje is just freaking hands up, chin down, walking you down, punching you, leg kicking you. As he's getting punched, he's leg kicking you. So point being, he is digging in with those shins. I mean, he's just throwing everything he has into them. He throws them anytime, offense, defense. Like I said, one of his best techniques is when he's getting punched and just friggin' rips to the legs. So two best of both worlds. You got a great shot on the shin, and you caught the fighter off guard type thing. You know, he's not bracing in any way. So I'm super excited for that fight. This other guy, he's just a friggin' monster as well.
So you
know what I mean?
You
it's
think,
just
you think this is a stand in front of each other and see what happens?
Absolutely. I mean, that's just what we get. It's just, it's almost impossible to be anything but when you get Gaethje in the ring, and this guy is almost a spitting image. Just maybe, fuck, I don't even know how I could possibly say it, but maybe even just stronger and more durable. You know what I mean? Just the way he's built, looking at him, he's like an action figure. But yeah, man, good fights. I cannot wait.
So could it take us back to the Gaethje Chandler fight?
I think so. Yes. I honestly, that's kind of what I'm seeing in my head. And both these guys, you know what I mean? They're the best of the best and as tough as they come. So I think it's inevitable. Don't you?
I believe so. But you know, one of the things that I'm frustrated with Gaethje about is, all right, all pro collegiate wrestler, right?
Right.
When I hear him in interviews, he said he doesn't like to wrestle because it's too tiring.
100%. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. So is that true?
I mean, yes, it is. I mean, there's nothing like wrestling. A fight's the most tiring thing you're ever going to do, and then try, to add in wrestling. It's just.
So would you rather be on your feet, or would you rather be grappling on the ground?
I'd rather be on my feet because it's what I was born and raised to do. You know what I mean? That's my comfort zone. I can move around and do that forever type thing where you get, it's interesting. He says that because a lot of wrestlers and grapplers, they feel like they can wrestle and grapple forever, right? I mean, you can't essentially, but you can. The technique's there, even though the power and whatnot goes out the window, and the strength somewhat. But it truly is. So you just have to think about it like this. Even when you're dominating in these grappling positions, it's still very, very taxing.
Right. So we've seen Gaethje go to the ground, and it's ended pretty quickly, though. Not in his favor.
Not in his. It's weird that he to me is the epitome of just a fighter. He's just going in there to fucking get hit you even harder, type of thing. You know what I mean? Like again, when I fight, I would like to think you see some style behind it and whatnot. Now, as great as he is, there's just none of that, man. It's just freaking. Sock him up, freaking, I'm coming to kill you or be killed type deal. That's what I mean. He's your fighter's favorite fighter. I mean, it's just, he's unreal, man. I cannot wait.
I was having that conversation with somebody today too. And man, I'll tell you, when he looks like he's trying to kill you when he throws those punches, doesn't he?
Everything into every single punch, and that's why it's funny to me. He's worried about getting tired. Like his style is the epitome of like getting tired. Like holy shit, man. So you know what I mean? He's just wild and whatnot. It's funny to hear him say that.
I would think with the nose operation he had, hopefully maybe his cardio will be a little bit better because he said that was hurting him a lot. I didn't know, but I would imagine so. That's why I just watched an interview with him. He said he took a little bit more time off because he wanted to get his nose fixed so his cardio could be a little bit better.
Very cool.
All right. Hashtag save our children. Explain it.
Yes, sir.
And what does it mean to you, my friend?
And honestly, right now, it means everything to me. I mean, I'm at a point now. I mean, I've got a lot of great things going on. I'm super blessed, but just above anything and everything, my kids are just absolutely amazing, and I just truly am growing up, shall I say, I'm always just trying to be the best fighter, I want to be freaking a millionaire and blah 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 blah. Right now I'm just trying to be the best parent I can, and it's funny, but everything else just falls in place after that. It really truly does. That being said, man, it's just it's hard to even put words to the real problem that's going on out there that nobody will talk about.
Yeah.
These fucking shithead politicians. I mean, whether you want to be on the side, like who's involved or what, like that's not even, you could talk days and point fingers and all this and that. The fact of the matter is it's happening. 1 million kids go missing every year. Half of those right here in the United States. These are real numbers. Like, that is that's a kid like every couple of minutes. Yep. You know what I mean? It's that bad. It's that scary. We absolutely know that organs are being harvested for, the black market purposes. We absolutely know that there is adrenochrome being harvested from these kids and sold, again, whether you want to believe who or what, actors, Hollywood, fucking politicians, it don't fucking matter. It's happening.
And that is when I wish people would research that, because that is fucking sick, right? How they get that alone, they get that adrenochrome from a child. I mean, they have to put them in a situation to spike their adrenaline high, and drain their blood out of them. Man, I'm with you on it. I support you with it. I know that, man, you try to post it on social media, you get shut down, your shit gets...
Well, that's the thing too. I'll post a fight deal, and again, I'm super thankful and blessed for the support. I'll get hundreds of likes on a post on average, and I'll post something about, save our children, and maybe 5, maybe 10, and I know why. Like, it's truly, it's dark, man. It's a dark world, evil, right? Like, you're face to face with the devil. People don't want to just go about their day and then boom, all of a sudden just get kicked in the balls or the face, like with this overwhelming fear. It's easier. It's so much easier to just turn your head and pretend like this isn't happening.
Yeah, but you know what?
The thing is, it is.
It has to be people like you, like me, because that's not the only thing that's going on right now. And if people don't start to wake up to figure out what the past 3 fucking years has been about, pretty soon we won't have a country left.
That's the truth.
We won't have the freedom
very scary times right now.
To fight or to sit on a podcast and even talk to each other, right? They didn't want us talking to each other when they shut us down with COVID. And I'm not saying COVID wasn't real, because I got sick with it and I was hospitalized for a few days. But so I'm not saying it wasn't real. I mean, the virus was there, but you know what? You can't tell me that the way that they handled it wasn't to just start control,
they flipped the world upside down, man. They yanked the rug from underneath us. You're absolutely right. They, in every single way, it was almost like there's motives behind it, right? I mean, again, we can talk for days alone on why or what, but the fact is you're absolutely right, man. It's a scary time to be living in, scary time to be having kids.
Yes, I'm thankful. I'm actually thankful my kids are older, because I would be afraid to be bringing a child up right now.
Yep.
Yep. And
I've got my 5th on the way here in any moment.
Oh, you do? Well, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
That is awesome. I mean, it's still a blessing, right? There's nothing more that what better could you have than being a father or a mother, right? It's the truest blessing you can ever have in life, right?
Kids are the best, absolutely.
But I'm with you, man. I support it. I just hope people wake up. There's a lot of shit going on that they need to stop turning their heads about and just putting their head in the sand. We got a lot of things we got to get fixed.
Absolutely, man. And more than just, if you can donate or whatever, you can help, great. But the most important thing we could do is just spread awareness. Again, it's things people don't want to hear, but they have to hear it's your kid.
They do need to hear them, because you're not going to hear them. You're not going to hear them on the media. So
absolutely not. Yep.
And unless they shut me down, I preach it on here too. So if you ever want to come on back on here and talk to me and have a conversation about,
we could do a whole episode on just this. I would love to.
I would love to do it. So we'll get you back on. I was going to ask you,
we'll plan on it, brother.
Any interest in coming on for a short, brief podcast before every pay-per-view event?
Oh, of course, man. Yeah, and I'm usually just, the fights are a family event for us always. So I'll be hanging out, chilling, barbecuing. Yeah, I love it, dude. I mean, I got moms, grandparents, it's just everybody over, always friends from the gym. So I'm always hanging out, brother. I will look forward to any time and every time.
All right,
absolutely.
Great. We'll schedule some things. We got each other's phone number, so we'll be definitely in contact. What's next for Ricky Steele? You got anything planned?
Like I said, I'm about to have a baby here any moment. But that being said, I want to keep busy. I'm about to be so busy with work and everything, but this is what I do and love to do. So I'm just going to stay in shape. When the opportunity arises, I'll be able to pounce, and we best believe we got a couple big fights ahead of us. That's for sure.
All right, brother. Hey, I appreciate you coming on. We'll be in touch.
Thanks again, my man.
We'll get you back on. We'll talk some serious shit that's going on out there, and we'll make these motherfuckers aware of what's happening.
Let's make some noise, dude. Absolutely.
All right, brother. You take care, my friend.
God bless, brother. Talk to you soon.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
I'll be remembered, but with you, the McDonald's the baddest that I would turn to. CEO with the shit that's a dope motherfucker. You always win. There's no going under. The top of the crown resting on his head. The beast is alive, he'll never be dead. If he dreamt before, bring it back to life. Push harder for it, let us survive. Show courage and strength, it's okay to be scared, but don't let it stop you, always stay prepared. Build someone's school, they're just not beginning. Winners fucking win, losers talk about winning.